Last week's Budget 2018, tabled by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak, announced a whole host of measures aimed at addressing various problems. Initiatives were announced in key areas of the economy, such as the rising cost of living, affordable housing, the empowerment of SMEs, and digitalizing the nation's economy. Some announcements particularly caught attention, like the slashing of income tax for certain tax brackets, the threefold increase in the bonus of civil servants, and the increase in maternity leave for the private sector. But there are many other important announcements made that did not get as much attention. This week on Astro Awani, we kick off a week-long analysis of Budget 2018. Every day throughout the week, we'll take a look at what Budget 2018 will do for different sectors: citizens' welfare, the cost of living, affordable housing, the digital economy, education, GLCs, trade, the ringgit, the Bursa Malaysia, and the economy at large. You are watching The Marketplace with me, Luqman Haris. The Marketplace today continues our analysis of Budget 2018. Today, we approach the budget from the lens of the advancement of Bumiputeras in this country. And joining me to discuss the matter is Datuk Husni Salleh, CEO of Unit Teraju Agenda Bumiputera or Teraju. Datuk, welcome to The Marketplace.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
First of all, your thoughts on the initiatives announced in Budget 2018, especially pertaining to the ones that are meant to empower Bumiputeras.
And I think first and foremost, I'm very pleased with the fact that our Prime Minister have actually announced the budget 2018, one budget that we consider very inclusive, budget that has actually been looked into as a balancing part of the economy. We have a capital economy, we have people's economy, and at the same time, the budget that's really, really like to inspire and aspire the young people, the young generation for TN50. We have a 30 years planning regard to the development of the countries using TN50 as our now foundation for growth in the future of Malaysia.
Now comes the challenge also in executing, the challenge in execution. How do we ensure that all these Bumiputera empowering measures benefit both Bumiputeras in the peninsula and also in Sabah and Sarawak equally?
I think in the past 7 years that I have been tasked to lead Teraju as a coordination unit for Bumiputera, we've had so many council meetings with the Prime Minister, and I think over the past 7 years alone, we've got more than 45 meetings altogether. And this has been the council where we discuss all matters related to the development of the country and the Bumiputera. And mind you that this is the third most frequent meeting that the Prime Minister chairs, right after the Cabinet meeting and the Economic Council. And the third one is Bumiputera Economic Council. Having been in there and as a secretary to the council, I've seen how things have developed for the past 7 years with regard to improving the delivery systems and also making sure that whatever that the government has aspired to do basically will reach out to those people in the targeted segments of the society, including those in Sabah and Sarawak. I will say this because, one, for example, we have got the council meeting that meets once a month. Prime Minister chairs that. We also have the council, Bumiputeras Economic Council for Sabah and for Sarawak, for that matter. That meets, we meet about 4 times a year to discuss specifically about Sabah Bumiputera and Sarawak Bumiputera development. We also have a collaboration with all 5 corridors. Corridor authorities, we have our people, we call it Teraju corridor officers. We've left them in the corridors to basically develop the Bumiputera together with the economic corridors that we have today. And that's the reason we have all-inclusive 518 projects that we've done around the countries today. For the past 7 years, that's now valued over 14 billion ringgit.
Has all these measures been effective in bridging the gap between Peninsular Bumiputeras and Sabah Sarawak Bumiputeras?
The Sabah and Sarawak, because you know there's a peculiarity with regard to certain segments, certain parts of, because of demography and all that. And Sabah and Sarawak are different from the Peninsular Malaysia. But one that will actually spur the development, that will catalyze the whole thing, will be the connectivity and basically the access to those areas, and how we empower the people and the small towns like Limbang, Sarike, Kudat, Papa, and all that to start to develop and make sure that we create enough business opportunities, employment opportunities for those people. So this has been the one that's been a core of a trust development under Bumiputra that can contribute again to the development of overall economy in Malaysia. If you look at it, is that sometimes we are forgetting the fact that some of the major announcement of big projects that will center along the major cities, Kuala Lumpur, Johor Bahru, Penang, and also along that line. But at the same time, you look at it, and if you don't spur the development and growth and bring in the industries into the more smaller towns, rural areas and all that, those are the things that you don't seem to be large in size in the national scale, but to the community development, that kind of development, even if it's 5 million ringgit or even 10 million ringgit kind of industry, is big for that particular area.
Besides all this, on top of all these developments, which are good, on top of all the grants, financial assistance, and whatnot, how do we also ensure that we provide a more holistic and long-term development for Bumiputras? Instilling skills like cognitive thinking, problem solving, which will take them a long way, going in deeper into developing one man or one woman. So what are we doing to this end?
I think the core part of it is education. I must say that when we started back in 2011 as Teraju, when the first initiative that we did was to create Yayasan Peneraju Pendidikan Bumiputra, we understand the fact that we need to complement the government's effort today and basically to cater to a specific segment, which is the underserved community, those who live in the rural areas, those who did not get straight A's in all their exams and all that. But those people are bright kids and they have all the opportunities to move to go beyond. Because personally, I was one of the a person who lived in a rural area in a poor community back in the 1970s. But because of education, they have brought me to where we are, and many of us today. And similar things, we need to do that. But in the environment that we have today, we require greater emphasis of the development of the skill sets. We need to have something for us to basically to allow us to be capable enough, skillful enough to generate our own income, to get employment that is in higher value, what they call industries. So these are the things that we are also doing in Sabah and Sarawak as well as in the whole of Peninsula. Like Yayasan Penaju today, we have funded over 16,000 students. 80% of them basically is run under the technical and also vocational, and these people are placed in the right jobs, and they get a minimum of about 5,000 ringgit kind of salary per month.
All right, we'll talk more when we come back. We have to take a short break, Dato'. I will return with Datuk Husni Salleh, CEO of Teraju, on the marketplace. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're back with the marketplace, where we are talking about Budget 2018 and how it will affect the empowerment and advancement of Bumiputras. And joining me to discuss this is Datuk Husni Salleh, CEO of Teraju. Now, Datuk, we talked about a lot of things before the break, but I think it's safe to say that one of the issues with Bumiputras is that they are unaware, or they are less aware of all the programs and avenues made available to help them. So in terms of programs that have been done by Teraju and that is still being done by Teraju, would you say that the communication has been ineffective, or should the Bumiputras be more proactive in finding out these programs that are catered specifically for them?
Just before the break just now, I was mentioning about the outreach program done by Yayasan Penaju Pendidikan Bumiputra, where we get about 16,000 students funded through this. And similarly, we have INSCAN, Institute Keseluruhan Negara. I know that last week you were with
we've had that
Executive Director,
INSCAN
my
on the show,
colleague, Cik Firdaus, basically mentioned that, INSCAN itself has actually reached out to about 25,000 entrepreneurs all around the country. And these are places like Suk in Sarawak, in Kota Belud, in Kota Marudu, and places like that too. And they also have places like Besut and all that, to have programs, outreach done. We've done so many of this, what we call that engagement that are more on the ground that may not be reflected or captured through the mass media. But the fact is this, I just want to quote a few things that we mentioned. That our presence in the social media is quite active, to be honest. We've roughly about, if I can read you some statistics, let's quote through our Facebook alone, we've got monthly 3.5 million impression casts, about 1.37 million reach. We have posted at least about 5 events and things that we do on daily basis. We've got a daily engagement about 5,500 people. And we have been, said to have certified by Facebook Analytics as a 100% fast response page responding. And these are the ones that we've been doing for the past at least 1 year or so. So I think what we want, we will try to reach out people through many aspects of it. We have got engagement on the ground that we do. There's so many of these activities are going around, not just done by INSCAN, there's some Teraju, through the facilitation funds and all that. But we also have the presence in the social media as well, which are very, very active, I suppose, at the moment, because we hope that to be even more. We are working with our consultants to ensure that we do have a greater presence in the social media, not just Facebook, but all the other means as well. The other thing is that we have also developed our own system. It's like a portal itself that we call it BizNest. BizNest is actually an effort to collect all together the government programs, not just under Teraju, but also through other agencies like MARA, SME Corp, PUMB, MTDC, Biotech Corp, and all that. There are about 1,400 entries, right, in regard to all kinds of things that you can find that is offered through the government agencies to the entrepreneurs and also the students and all that. So in fact, to the point that you want to find which are the place that can offer you a premise for you to go and operate and rent and operate, basically, you can find it in BizNest. So we've been actually promoting this kind of thing so that people have easy access to us and to all the other agencies under the government.
We have about 1 minute left. Budget 2018, Dato', is touted as one of the most inclusive budget. How do we keep this trend moving forward? Ensure that the budget gets more and more inclusive, but at the same time, not affect Bumiputra empowering initiatives?
Well, again, I must say that I'm very impressed the fact that this inclusive budget is something that is going to be the theme of this budget and the coming budgets as well. I suppose that through all our engagement we've done with the Prime Minister, through the councils and all that, we can look into all the economic numbers and everything, all that. But what's most important is to make sure that the people, the benefit, the Bumiputra, which make up about 68.6% of the total population, also benefit, because we are the consumers, we are the consumption. We basically drive the growth of the economy as a whole. So therefore, when we look at it as a whole, we want to ensure that the M40s and the B40s are really empowered in a sense. So when we look at it, BRIM has increased income tax for middle 40s, income bracket within 20,000, 70,000 has been slashed by 2%. We look at it as, even the farmers and the small holders and people who do all kinds of agriculture thing, there are about 6.5 billion ringgit, funds and assistance to be given to them. These are something that the government need to do to ensure that we empower people, we touch the heart and the right people in regard to how they are facing the daily life and in living in the country today.
Something for everyone.
Something for everyone, I must say.
Thank you, Datuk Husni Salleh, CEO of Unit Peneraju Agenda Bumiputra or Teraju.
That's it for this episode of Marketplace. Send us all your feedback on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at 511awani. Download our app, as you can see there, available on Google Play and also the Apple App Store. You can also catch this interview on podcast. Simply search for Astro Awani or the Marketplace wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Lukman Haris. Thanks for watching the show. Have a nice day.